Now for the stem, I'm going to start with G20, and I'm going to cover the whole thing, just like I did on the petals. Cover it all over with the lightest shade, ending in 0. Now that I have the G20 base, I'm coming in with G21. And just like on the petals, I want to think about where to put the darker shades. And the darker shades are going to come along the outside edges, just like on the petals, because they recede, and at the bottom, at the base, so down here. And I want to sort of demarcate where the lines are for the, I don't know if you can call them petals, the leaves, I guess, of this, the base of the flower. That's why I'm drawing these lines here, and I'm not worried about leaving them. I'll come in later to blend. I'm building up the depth with a darker shade now. This is G24. And remember that dark shades, dark shadows make objects recede, and that is, they look like they're further away from you. And then the light colors, the light shades, pop an image toward you. I'm shading now with G28, will be the darkest green that I'm using. And I use less of this than of the G24. And even a little bit of gray, just to make it really recede. This is C6. But I always, after I've used gray, will come back in with the hue that I've used, usually the darkest one I've got, so that it doesn't look gray. So we're just using the gray to deepen the shadows. And I'm coming back in with G28. Now this seriously needs some blending work, but we're going to do the same kind of blending on this as we did with the petals. So we're going to leave some lines showing to show the veins. I'm using G21 now, which is not the lightest. And the least amount on the center petal, or leaf I should say, which is going to be the one closest to us. That's why I've left that more open. Coming back in with G20. Since this is the very lightest shade, it's not going to show very much, but it is going to leave a little bit of texture showing on the lightest parts of these leaves. I'm actually going to take the blender pen and I'm going to make some more lines of demarcation. I want these to look a little more veiny, so using this. The 0 is what removes color. It actually pushes the ink deeper into the paper away from the surface. And that's why it looks like it kind of disappears. It doesn't disappear altogether. It just gives it some more texture. I'm going to just keep working this a little bit. Back to G21. I see some areas that just need a little bit more blending out. A little bit more G24. Just using the very tip of the marker, just tiny little lines. I know it looks like I'm barely touching the paper. This is how I achieve the look of a lot of shading. I just keep going over it and over it. Lots and lots of layers of color. I think I'm going to use G21 again. I just see some areas that need a little bit more texturizing. I'd like to create a little more a depth on this top part of this leaf, so just a little bit of G24 up on the top left edge, which would be curved a little bit and hidden away a little bit from the light. That's why I'm choosing that edge, and now this edge as well would be. And so with this edge. Oops. Oh, oopses. You can fix your oopses. Don't be discouraged if you make an oops. That's what the blender pen is for. This takes a lot of patience. Going back in and just reworking and reworking until you're happy. This is G20, my lightest and brightest. One more time, just deepening the shadows. Kind of lost them here with all that blender pen. So back with G28. Oh dear, I can sense that this is the last time I can use a dark color on here. I can sense it's a little bit saturated. I'll just blend that out a bit with the G24, just so it's not so solid looking. And I'm happy with that.